Okay, the next section in the chapter covered newspaper columns. This starts on page 63. So after you were done reviewing that, I just copied a paragraph off of the internet and pasted it a few times, and then off the Home tab, I cleared the formatting so that it was no formatting applied, just the default fonts. So now we are going to go over columns. Now, in the previous book, we covered margins, and we covered orientation's pretty simple, and the size of the paper depending what's in your printer. Just to review, letters the normal, the paper that you see all the time. Illegal is just a few inches longer, and then there's all these different options. Plotters, I believe, can print up to 36 inches long, or wide rather, and as long as you want, the paper comes out in a roll. And usually when you install your printer, if you have a specialty size, it will automatically add to the size list. If not, you would have to click more paper sizes, and you could enter it manually and figure out what the right size for the paper is. Now, let's just say you had a plotter that did print 3 foot wide and as long as you wanted, and you left it on legal. It would come out the corner of the corner of the paper would have the entire document on it. So it might print out 36 inches wide, 2 feet long, but only have the 8 by 11 in the upper corner, and you could actually cut it out and it would just look normal. But that's kind of the point behind the size tab. It's more dependent on what your printer is set up to do. Now, columns. Let's just say we're writing a newspaper article. There's what we use, normal. If you put 2 columns in there, then obviously it makes 2 columns. 3, or you can pick this tab and you can customize it. You can make as many columns as you want. I'm sure everyone's kind of seen documents that look like this, but it was probably lists of names or something like that that would actually fit into these columns. Now let's explore a couple more of these options here. Okay, here's the presets, and they have these ones here that. Let's see, is this? Yeah, that's just there. Now they're lined up. There was just a few paragraph breaks there. So this might be handy if you needed like name and then what they did, something like that. You could just use your imagination on the different ways that you could use all of these different columns. And you can choose whether to apply this to the whole document or this point forward. So maybe you have your paragraph explaining what's going on, and then from that point forward, you want your columns. There, if I select equal column width, it automatically defaults back to 2. Another important thing I wanted to point out when it comes to columns, let's just say you got to right here and then you're starting a new topic, you're going to have a new heading. You might want to insert a column break. Now I have paragraph break right there. So now, just to make this a little bit clearer, I'm going to paste my next paragraph right there. So the column break, what that does is, well, just like a page break, if you wanted to end the page right here and you inserted a break, it would take everything down to the next page. A column break is going to take everything to the next column. Then you can look at your other types of breaks in here. Text wrapping can be handy if you have a picture in there or something of that nature. I think we've covered all of these in previous. In the last book, we covered the rest of these. I want to reiterate the odd page, even page one. That is important if you're duplex printing. That way your margin on the front page of the paper will be maybe aligned this direction. Right now we have all 1-inch margins, so it wouldn't matter. But if we had maybe a 2-inch margin over here on your next page, or on the back of this page, that 2-inch margin would be over here. So that's where odd page, even page comes in. That way you can have different formatting on the front and on the back. It's pretty much strictly for duplex printing. So for this assignment, why don't we make a little newspaper article? Try to use what we learned previously and apply different, use your styles. That way we have headings, and you can just copy random paragraphs and just make the heading the title of whatever they are. For this, I just Googled what is information technology, and I just copied one of the paragraphs. And don't forget, when you copy these, if they already have a lot of formatting, different colors, different heading styles, you go over here to Home and clear formatting for the entire document, and then you can start formatting it yourself. But if you just give me a one-page document with a few different titles and headings and apply some styles, hold on, let me highlight it first. I obviously don't like that. These font sizes are all huge. Okay, that one's not bad. Okay, what it's doing is it is seeing this as the heading and everything else as the paragraphs within it. But don't forget that is Control-Shift-S, and you can then designate what is what. So this is normal. I want to make all of this normal. No, I don't know why I grabbed that too. Oh, because we don't have a paragraph break in there. And then there's my old style that I created earlier today. So yeah, if you just want to make me any form of an informational document, you do not have to type it. You can copy different paragraphs offline, just put headings on them, and just make sure it's a couple of columns. See, why is this space right here? There's your answer. There's a paragraph break right there. So yeah, just see what you can do. Try to make it look nice. If you really feel like going above and beyond, add some borders. Here's page border, color. I don't want it to be black. Let's use blue or something. That's really thin. Go with that. Don't forget you have all these different styles in here. Just pick that just to get the lecture with it. It actually doesn't look too bad. But yeah, go ahead and do that, and then submit it into the Dropbox. It'll be called Working with Columns Dropbox, and it'll be in week 9.